Hey everyone, I'm Butley. I'm here with Patch. How you doing, Patch?
I am doing well.
You are doing well indeed. We are playing Tactics Ogre. We are up to episode 29, and first thing we're going to see here in a minute, I think I'm just looking at the map there because I kind of like that it shows all of the Wallister land that the Duke sort of owns at the moment, or controls at least. We're going to go into a bit of a cutscene though the minute we move, so I'm not sure if that's right away or if we go do some Warren Report stuff. We're not going to advance the story too much in this episode. I wanted to show off something else that I've been waiting a long time, and then I will probably go and have a chat with Patch about where we go forward from here in the Let's Play slash story slash Tactics Ogre run.
Oh gosh.
Excuse me. So this is Ramados, who she basically had her family die, and it kind of put her on the bad path, and it didn't help that Zapan lied to her.
Well, I think her point in the story is that sometimes good people, sometimes people aren't good or bad, they're just driven into a certain path, and even if their decisions aren't the right decisions, they're not out of evil, they're just wrong.
Oh, certainly. Just conflicting. Like, I mean, even to be honest, we had the discussion last time. Is the Duke a good guy, or what about the guy Balbatos who we murdered, or executed, whatever you want to call it? Like, maybe the Duke's in the wrong.
I can talk more on that point in a minute, but for now, I think we just.
Yeah.
Unless we wanted to talk over this.
I don't mind talking a little bit over it, but we should talk about the cutscene, I guess. As you can remember, the Duke said we should go and visit Warren. Remember that we saw all the Holy Knights in Rhyme fighting off. This isn't Gildas, who's the one who directly let us chase after Zapan, but who we saw get stabbed by the poison blade. But Meriden is here. He was the other of the White Knight.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, for us being, mature adults, a lot of the themes in this we can really handle very straightforward and clearly, but to a younger audience, especially a teenage one, they might not see all sides of an argument, so to speak.
Yeah, but I don't think that would take away from the experience either. I think if you...
No, well, that's what I think Ramados is in there, is to show you that there is people who aren't good or bad, they're just malaligned to you.
It's that extra layer of sort of detail or an extra twist in the story that probably goes unnoticed unless you are really into the themes and you're following the story quite religiously.
Not many places a wanted man could go. I know from experience.
Yeah. But you gotta remember, Canopus travelled with these guys originally too. He was from Zenobia, so obviously it's kind of sad seeing the Starcaller here. He's still alive, I think. He's just really unwell. Not that that says much. We've seen our fair share of people close to us dying. Remember the Duke Ravnus? Murdered right in front of our eyes. Zapan stabbed right in front of our eyes. Gildas poisoned.
Yeah, Zapan was so close to us.
we ought to make for Heim at once. Yeah. So obviously Heim is the Dark Knight, it's known as the Bakram, or Dark Knights have some sort of fortress there because they were keeping the Abuna Prancet there.
Yeah.
If you remember, that's where the Liberation Front broke in, so we're saying that that must be where they're keeping Lancelot, if they're keeping him anyway. Meriden's joining us. We got a White Knight mark.
Cool.
As I said, every Knight class, every abbreviation on the Wizard class, sorry, takes something from generic Wizard and adds something else. Well, the White Knights is sort of the same for Knights. I think it takes away some of the tanky and gives it a bit more paladin-y, sort of cleric-y kind of thing.
Yeah, healing magic, I take it.
And some other abilities, but we'll see them as we go. As you can see here, we're just taking a look around all the places that we've been. A lot of this is all places we've already been. I think we've been to almost every single one of these tiles.
Yeah. All but the one.
I like it though, like, because the plot has changed or evolved. And we're going into the Wildwood, which we haven't done yet. This has the keep type of setup where there are multiple layers to get somewhere. In the lore, and I'm not sure if we looked at it or if we go and look at it, but the Wildwood was mentioned that the Wallister opened it for hunting because they wanted to try and like get some money out of it. I think we're going to go and have a look. Good on you, past me. You knew what I was thinking. And then I went to the wrong place. There we go. So yeah, the idea is that it will create a bit of game and create some money and just sort of, you know, give people a bit of an avenue to, there you go, you seek to profit from the bountiful reserves. So they'll get food and stuff like that out of it as well. And what you're going to see about this place is it's basically a replayable dungeon. So you can, like, I want to say you can grind, but you can. What happens, it creates sort of a random team for you to fight against. And as you sort of get deeper into the forest, the teams get sort of stronger. So it's not entirely random, like this will be mostly humans, for example, and then as we go further in, we'll fight more and more dragons and things like that.
Until you just end up fighting 6 dragons every time.
So it's good because it's unique, like because it's not preset, you get a lot of random combinations that you're not used to facing, so it's good even just training for the sake of learning tactics. It's really cool. Like, it doesn't matter if you lose, so if you want to take a slightly weaker team in and try something out, or try different combinations, it's good. If you've got characters that don't have enough skill points. As you can see, the team on this map is quite small.
Yeah.
So we have to make an unprecedented decision. Put someone on the bench.
Bench yourself.
Challenge accepted. For the first time ever, we don't have to bring ourselves to the party. So we can make truly unique teams without us now. So it's really cool.
Yeah, this is definitely, this immediately adds a lot to the game.
And keep in
Just
mind,
the fact
like,
that it exists.
we're quite reasonably leveled for any challenge we've faced. This isn't compulsory. It's almost not to be meant to be used to sort of raise your main team and just plow through it. It's to, you know, get those characters. Like, I've got Johannes. Well, we've barely used him because he's been a subpar sort of fighter, and knights have been doing the job for us. Well, here he can fight, and it might not gain him a lot of like levels, but it will gain him a lot of like SP to put into skills and make him more useful.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can you recruit people from here?
Certainly. It's like one of the best places.
This is definitely like sort of a gap filler. If you find the main game hard, you could come here, and like you said, you can practice, or you can, you know, fit up your team better. You can train your weak people. It's actually like very, very well designed in concept.
Yep, it's really cool. And you
and it's not going to last very long.
We're going to mop this up because we've got pretty well, like, some of our best characters out there. And these guys are all pretty well established. They've all got a lot of abilities. We've got a really good blend of damage and healing. We've got that +1 longbow, so we've crafted some items and stuff like that. I deliberately picked this team to, like, clean house. Because I just wanted to show the area, not so much sort of everything.
Throw a stone!
Still got that guy with the throwing skill. I just haven't worked out what to do with him yet. He needs to get stronger so he can use... Oh no, that's the Beastmaster who has the blow dart that he can't use yet.
Yeah.
But like, you can make this as hard as you want. So we've got a level 7 Beastmaster class at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is easy, right? We're cleaning this up. What if we took 5 real people and then the Beastmaster who's a few levels behind, you know?
Yeah.
He can train,
It'd be a good chance to level them up, yeah.
So that's a sort of mentality you can have while you're doing this kind of stuff anyway. This probably only takes like a few more minutes, so did we want to talk about something else for a bit? And then I'll cut in because there's something else I want to show when we get to it.
Do you want to preface our topic for the day? I assume we're going to have a lot of time to talk about it.
Well, okay, I can do this. I've got it. I mentioned that as you dig your way through the Wildwood, you get to face more and more evil teams, like nasty teams with different units, especially dragons. And I also mentioned that you can do it without your commander. But if you put the two together, you get our next topic. That wasn't that bad. Come on. Come on. I'm extremely exhausted today, so if you find me normally boring, I just apologize for how bad I am for the rest of this. I had the worst day. I'm really tired. The worst night. And I just really wanted to knock this episode off because I don't know. I find this is cool, showing this off. I think this is a really cool mechanic. It sounds like Patrick enjoyed it too, so I'd say it was well worth.
I appreciate it. That's the thing with me, is even if I don't enjoy, like, even if I wouldn't enjoy Tactics Ogre as a game, I can appreciate the features and factors of it. It's like I don't enjoy Final Fantasy games, but I can appreciate why, you know, 7 is so popular, 6 is so popular. I can appreciate those games on a mechanical level, even if I wouldn't enjoy playing them myself. So yeah, I can really appreciate the thought and planning that went into this training area, essentially.
Right, and keep in mind that this opened up to us. So we were at the start of chapter 2. We were at the port in the west, and then we sort of fought our way back through the mainland, and then we got routed by Vice at one of the wildlands or whatever. And excuse me, at that point, I think we could go in here.
I mean, someone got routed there.
But so this area has been open to us for a long time. There was a little period in there where we couldn't go there, but for the most part, we've been able to go here the whole time. So we could have come and done training at any point.
Yeah.
I just chose to. I prefer just having a random person who just throws items to level them up. Because here, you know, it's you don't get as much experience, there's not as much fighting. And there's another reason which I'll explain in a little bit when it comes up.
So today we were going to talk about Dragon Commander, Divinity Dragon Commander.
It's a little bit of an old game.
Is it?
When did it come out?
A couple of years. I don't know.
Can't look.
The important thing is, as a genre, what would you say the genre of the game is, Dan Butley?
Oh gosh. I have no idea. I think
exactly.
That was the point, right? It was so multi-genred in appeal.
It is 3 years old, 2013.
Yeah, it's a little while ago.
So what I'd say about it is Dragon Commander, it has RPG and RTS elements. It's sort of like a Total War game, if a Total War game sucked. I'm going to be brutal about it, to be honest. It's a game that tries to do many things and achieves none of them. Not really. I don't know, because it's sort of a hodgepodge of really great ideas and then really poor delivery.
I reckon I liken the story parts of it, not the multiple choice, but like the progression of quests and things like that, to a kind of Red Alert-esque thing. Not the gameplay, right? This is where it's weird. The RTS elements are more like I don't know the games they've played, but I don't know.
Well, it feels more like a tactical game. The RTS elements, like your Dawn of War 2, and games like that, where you have like smaller bases. It's less, and they're fixed locations.
There's
it's less about
points and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can't get resources, so to speak. Like you start with a finite amount of resources. You start with a bunch of troops, and then it's about whittling people down to the end. Did you just shoot your own guy?
Yeah, I shot the wrong guy.
You couldn't tell them apart. And so, I guess we kind of need to explain all the different sort of aspects of it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So the story, in the sense of you sort of pick a rough path you go, you have a little cutscene about, well, not really cutscenes, but you have a little dialogue about a certain choice or a certain way you went or a certain place. You have RTS sort of gameplay, which is a bit like your Dawn of War. You have like multiple choice, which is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like visual novel-ish. Yay, now we have a new friend. I was planning that, so I took a bit more damage than I did.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed that you intentionally baited him over to your healers.
And I was measuring the distance he could move in one jump,
Yeah, it was very clever. I picked that up the moment I saw you go for the recruit skill. I was like, oh, he planned that.
I mean, there was 3 winged guys. I had to go for one of them. I didn't really care what class I got. I just wanted one because they're so versatile.
Yeah.
I would build my whole team out of these guys if I could get enough of them.
So, Dragon Commander, when you play it, the game splits sort of into 2 or 3 sections. The first section is a management, where you uncover tech, you build troops on a map. You sort of manage where they're going on that map. It's a giant map of territories, like a Total War game, or like...
it's very like Total War. Like, say, Empire Total War, you're assigning certain troops to certain territories and regions, and you're trying to walk through boundaries and borders. Yeah, definitely like that.
And you can upgrade those territories in minor ways. Depending on what you have, you get different resources. And so that's the first part of the game. The second part is the combat, which is it plays out sort of like a real-time strategy, sort of like a Total War game-ish. There is a base. You can build more units there.
I forget, do units automatically spawn, or do you have to go and actually click them? I know you can click them, but do you have to?
You have to click them. You have to go spawn for them to spawn, and they go to rally points and things, like a traditional RTS.
Yep.
But in this RTS mechanic, there is also the option to turn into a dragon. And when you are a dragon, you can take a more proactive role where you breathe fire on your enemies, you can cast spells, healing, supporting, or you can damage enemies. And you get a lot more options there. And we'll come back to why that's not as great as it sounds in a bit.
I think that's a preface of like everything we're about to say. It has all these cool elements of things. Were you going to go through a few more?
I was just going to go to the last sort of main aspect of the game, and that's sort of an RPG choose your path style thing, where because you are the commander of a nation, you get to make certain choices. You get to choose who's your wife. You get to choose sort of like, I guess you could say, policies on things like drugs, education, religion, workplace health and safety, money,
and these
environment.
Are a bit surface level. It's not like an interesting study
we're not talking
drugs or anything.
Like if you look at I don't know, anything else, you need some more depth. Because the real problem is the game lacks depth. That's what is the problem here. Is it has all these elements, but it has no depth to support these elements.
It is
where
the jack of all trades and the master of none.
Yeah, where you make a choice, and that choice doesn't matter. Not really.
It has an effect, but the effect doesn't translate into any of the other genre elements that it has. So the one we always talk about is there are X number of races, and
there's 5 races.
You can make decisions that make certain races like you more or hate you. Like it's a bit of a, I don't know what you call it, like a plus minus. Every choice will make one like you more and one hate you more, sort of thing. And
yeah, like the elves like drugs and the dwarves dislike it. I think. I can't remember specifically.
Yeah, there's like gnomes or goblins or something, and they like explosives, and everyone else thinks that's reckless. Imps. And that sort of thing. And that's fine, and it gets you a better rating with them, which might get you some dialogue choices and that. But what you really want then is that to evolve into the other genre, specifically, say, the RTS elements. You want say the imps, if you side with them, you want more of some sort of new unit or weapon or some sort of
Yeah.
incentive for having done that. Whereas
It unlocks like a research
that
or
doesn't really
something where you
happen.
get more
as
explosives.
long as you keep everyone from hating your guts completely, then that's it. That's like the whole extent
Yeah.
of the problem of the
The one
element of
place,
it. Yep.
the one place it does translate in is it depends how much money you get from each of your tiles, but because typically you won't own, you know, a couple of tiles, you own a lot of tiles. You'll get money from everywhere. It's not limited to, oh, you're getting money from this race or this race. You really don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, even though
It's not
theoretically
important.
you could be in a situation where you're like, oh, the undead team, I have mostly undead tiles, so I need to make sure that they like me, because they'll give me more money, and if I don't, no one will give me money because I don't have enough of the other tiles. That, in theory, that exists, but it's never prevalent enough to become a real issue. Like, you never really think that. The problem being is the turn-based strategy element, and I don't know if it's the AI or if it's just how the turn-based goes, but it's so easy to just sit there and bank and play.
Yeah, and you can get sort of cards, so to speak, and they give you stuff like free units or a certain buff in battle. And if you build the right buildings in your territories, you get these cards semi-frequently, and then on top of the army you're building, you just get these cards and drop them in battles and win the entire battle off sheer number.
Right, it doesn't matter who likes you or
that.
who doesn't like you. It's like, oh, I have a thing that they don't really like. Oh well, whoops. We'll just dump this in to top it up and make up for it. There's also generals.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing. The game has cool elements. That would be fun if the combat was a bit more involved or difficult or varied. And then it's like they have generals, so you can send generals to fight to get a bit of a boost, or you can send them to fight and then simulate the fight with the generals in it, so you don't have to bother. And like, that sort of stuff's cool, but it's not. There's not enough to it, and the fighting's too easy. It's like the RTS element, like everything else, is just a little bit short of what you're used to. And I get that they couldn't spread themselves across all these elements properly, but it's kind of.
I'd like to tackle one specific example that really highlights this lack of carryover.
Go on.
As you were just explaining, you personally can only lead one battle each turn, and there might be battles on many fronts, so you can only manage one, and then you've got these generals, and then you can assign a general to manage a battle for you, and it simulates the battle. And generals have little benefits, like one has tactics or something, and one might have cunning, or I don't know, something to that effect. But that doesn't really do anything specifically. Like, it doesn't. The game never tells you what those abilities really give you as advantages, and as far as I can tell, all it does is. Sorry, you paused on this for a minute.
Yeah,
What's
I'm waiting
going on?
for you to finish your point. Obviously, this is totally live. This is me thinking when I'm doing it, and you'll see why.
No worries.
I'll explain in a minute.
No, it's fine. So, yeah, one of the options you can get in this sort of RPG aspect is one of your generals comes up and says, "Hey, look, I think it's unfair that you pay your male generals more than your female generals." And you can go, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going to start paying my female generals as much as my male generals." If you do, she gains another ability. The ability doesn't do anything, as far as I can tell.
Right.
And she costs you more money
You
when
don't
you use her.
see those things. Like you say, you might see, oh, it has 2 tactics skill instead of 1.
Yeah.
You don't see that. You just send them on a battle, and you just assume that helped.
Yeah, it might increase your % chance of winning. And as far as I can tell, when you do battles that you're not present for, it does sort of like a risk style basic
That's
simulation.
what I was going to say. It's like a risk style game. It's barely...
Yeah.
It seems to be more dice roll than it does unit types or composition of your army, or generals just give you like a +1 bonus to your roll and stuff like that.
Well, again, the problem was kind of that they had this idea in mind, where they were like, okay, we're going to put in this thing where you can play an RTS and you can turn into a dragon, and then out of the RTS you can manage a nation. And that, at the base level, sounds like a really cool concept, but then the delivery is really just eh.
The whole notion does sound amazing. It just
yeah.
couldn't put all the elements together.
Mergen's only level 3?
Well, he's a white knight,
Okay, you're
not
only
a
level
knight,
4.
right?
Yeah.
So we changed ourselves to a Terror Knight, and we did a heap of class changing. So a lot of what I mentioned, I want to talk probably with you about it offline. So I need to like fix the party because I basically just butchered it. You'll see why in a minute. And then we probably need to have a quick look through all the teams and just make any notes. Like it's more like, what do you want to see now? Because we have this basic training ground. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And we can make whatever we need to make, right?
Yeah.
I put these 2 daggers on him because I know the ninjas have this double strike ability, but I couldn't afford it. And then she could, but she's like our bow. I'm like, I don't. Double strike means you can sort of attack with both daggers in one turn.
Yeah.
And
I gathered.
I don't think you can do it with bows. I'm not sure. I might try it offline. And so I was like, damn it. The one ninja I wanted to do it can, and the one that can learn it isn't going to get any use out of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was doing that. Yeah, so what I want to do is have a quick look. I obviously changed Gilbert to something. I can't remember what it was. And I changed... Did I change Firesword? No, I didn't. I changed us to a Terror Knight. Just... Yeah, we just got the option now to flick things around. Like, for example, I'll spoil one that I was thinking of. I'm going to make a crossbow-wielding Dragoon. This is a Dragoon class, which is fairly common for these type of games. Because they're really powerful, and crossbows are better than bows against a lot of monsters and that. And the Dragoons are sort of like, if you beast tame or buffs animals, your Dragoon is the expert at destroying animals.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned in the past.
Yep. So I'm gonna do that, like, because I just think that's cool.
Yep.
You can see, like, here we have a rogue, and so I've decided to make him unique. He's gonna carry a shield and a one-handed bow, which most other people don't. They either they just get the strongest bow they can. In Ganapus's case, he's multi. So you can see I'm trying to just build unique stuff. This is a bit boring going through this. My problem was it's so hard to plan. Like, I sort of have a couple of ideas, and then I have to go in here, and here I have to actually piece it together. Unfortunately, this is just the element of it being a RPG, a tactical RPG. You're just gonna have to do some of this. I've been trying to limit how much time I spend in inventory screens, but it's getting harder the more characters you get. And, you know, it's hard when you're recording to remember everything too, so it's like, if you were just playing in your own time, you would slowly learn. I kind of don't stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Yeah.
What we're going to see here, and this is why I'm sort of holding on this point instead of going back to our other thing, is, in case you can't tell, all the enemies have scaled down now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, level 7, yep.
So we average probably level 5, 6 because we have I think the Terror Knight's a level 4, for example.
Yep.
But like, so for our character now, level 4 Terror Knight, but we've got like level 2 swords. So we're still kind of strong. We'll still deal plenty of damage. Really want to do some of this ninjutsu stuff, but I can never seem to get it working. And so anyway, I just wanted to show this off. So here you can see she's level 7, but she hasn't got any power and a bow skill, so she can't really hurt it. Whereas, is it this guy? He's got a knife. He's got 2 knives, but he can't use the other one. I should have unequipped it.
Actually, you unequipped it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good. So one of these guys can deal heaps of damage. I'm just not sure which one. Do I give him a bow? No, it's not him. Anyway, so point being, yeah, the enemies scale, and as you can see, we've got a different assortment of guys. There's a proper mage here now. Well, there's an enchantress in the last one. We have Griffin, you know, things like that. We run to a different tile. All the terrain will always be the same. Like, there's like 6 or 7 tiles or something in the Wildwoods, and they will always be the same 6 or 7 places. But you'll see here, we'll do way more damage than everyone else. Oh, I lied. And you know why that is? It's because we're wielding a hammer, not a sword. And all our points with the sword. I think Terror Knights can't use one-handed swords. That's what screwed me up. So I mean, like, there's just so much to think of that I didn't.
Yep.
And the other thing that's going to screw us is that to kill griffins and stuff, you need either really high-level bows or magic. And we didn't bring any magic at all. So the preface here is that we're going to get absolutely wrecked, but I wanted to just show off sort of what it's like if you do this. And so there's sort of two ways to train. You can take your full army and a tag along, who will raise that one thing a lot, or you can sort of have everyone low. And you'll notice that that's what this is what I was preparing for. So I took a Terror Knight to one fight to get him a few levels. I stopped training the Warrior class so it's closer to the low levels of these. I took a Rogue to one fight. I took a Ninja to one fight. Even though we created 2 ninjas, I stopped taking them to battles because I didn't want them to overlevel. Because what you don't want is like sort of what we've got, where half your team's level 4 and half your team's level 8, because then all the enemies become level 8 and you can't fight them. Which is sort of the problem we have. So I've been trying to sort of balance that in the back of my mind too for this moment. I knew there was a point where we would have most of the world open and Almerica Castle and access to this area. And so I think maybe in our next video what I might do, maybe off screen I'll do some training, and then the next video will be like look at the fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
And then we'll drive the story forward, but you and I will have to just have a quick look at what sort of things we might want to do. Anyway, that's me waffling about what's been planning, what's been going on. I guess it won't be as noticeable to everyone else, but I was busy for like a week. That's why I haven't been uploading much, and this is recorded much later than the last few videos. So that's my fault. It's also December, so it's the worst time of year for trying to do stuff like this. It's gonna get really ugly. And we've been looking at other projects too, haven't we, Patch? Like,
oh, just future stuff, really.
I say projects, but they're more just we're just thinking of ideas of what we can do. We got time, we've got the means. We just need to find stuff that would be interesting. That's the hardest part, hey. Hey, now you can see Shadow behind. Shong. And now he can't move. Yes. And if we can attack him and everything, it's great. It only lasts for like, I think it has a chance every turn of wearing off, so it's cool. And so yeah, we just sort of roll on here, getting absolutely wrecked. Did you have any other sort of closing words on Dragon Commander?
Closing? I was only like not even halfway.
Well, this episode they're closing. We will have to come back to it. I think there's heaps to talk about because there's so much potential in that game. We definitely could go through each of the elements, or each of the genre limitations, and talk about why they work and why they don't work, because it'd be like a greater dissection of, say, this doesn't work in the RTS department because RTSs need this.
Yeah,
So
I probably want to save most of what I'd otherwise say then, because it's sort of a mess if I start things here. And
yeah, I understand. That's fine. Here I goofed. I'm like, oh, I gotta use the Heart Crusher and it's ranged, and I couldn't find a place that I was like, he's just gonna jump down and smash me no matter what happens. Also, so we have 2 Gilberts now. Wasn't that
oh, do we?
Flying Guy Gilbert as well?
Yeah. Who was our other Gilbert?
This guy, the rogue guy's Gilbert.
We'll call them both Gills.
Gills. Oh, the poison is real.
Gil and Gil.
I think I'm just trying to kill these things out of like a matter of pride. Take the griffins off the page and then quit. Also, 6 health. Better throw a 50 damage fireball at him. Damn you, sorcerer. Oh. These winged guys are so good. Like, you've seen how good Canopus is. Like, he's a special named NPC, so they won't be quite as good at him in pure stats, but it's all in the versatility, eh?
Yeah, the ability to get around is a very useful thing.
And if you start mixing him up with similar winged folk who have, I don't know, say, crossbows, so they have better, like, you know, bows are good shooting downhill, crossbows are decent shooting uphill, etc. So you could mix Canopus with support. Like, imagine if we had one that's a cleric to keep Canopus alive. Like, he could dive the backline in every single battle.
Imagine if your entire party was them and they were all different classes. And then you could just be everywhere.
You lure all the knights to the front, and then you just fly over the top and kill all the mages.
You basically stay in that 3x4 formation at the start of the game.
You just
And
skip,
they all come in,
skip,
and then you just jump over them and kill their backline.
charge.
In 1 turn.
It's a blitz. And so you can see we retreated, and it didn't ruin anything. It didn't change anything. No one got angry. You can lose hearts off your characters, but so you don't want them to take the 3 tickers when they're KO'd, because they'll lose one of their hearts, and they can only do that 3 times. But yeah. All in all, it's pretty safe, and it's good for training. And because of the way it scales, you can use a variety of teams. You can train new classes. Like we haven't got marks for half the classes yet, so wait till we get some more classes, and we'll get really creative. And you can see we've only built like half our team as well. We can build heaps more units if we need to.
Yeah.
So that's all in there. Anyway, this ended up kind of a tutorial video. I just wanted to show off this area. It's such a big part of like what you can do if you want to get creative and think about these things. And so I kind of wanted to wait until we had a lot more classes. If we'd gone in before, we only sort of had the half a dozen classes, and it wasn't that interesting. But now we have rogues and ninjas and all sorts. So it's a lot more exciting, in my opinion. And I think that's about it for this episode. We're obviously on the wind down screen. And we will catch you guys next time for episode 30. Wow, 3-0. Anyway, this is me signing out, and I will see you guys later. And Patch.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.